our friends at Coca-Cola for having us come out and support their schools that they service on a yearly basis. We're going to talk to football coaches and players from 11 different area high schools, all 5 in Howard County, both of those in Tipton County as well, knowing the upcoming season is not too far away on August the 21st. We'll kick things off with the Western Panthers when we come back. As you're watching us from the Sun King Depot in downtown Kokomo, it is our annual Coca-Cola of Kokomo Kickoff special. Back in a moment on ISC. And little volley, oh my goodness, what a touch for the goal. Kept over by Lawrence North, and they'll score on it. Oh my goodness, give it to him. Rolled through the lane, and he knocks him. Oh my goodness. Welcome back on the ISC Sports Network. Again, we've got a Hoosier Conference theme here for the opening of the show. After talking to the Western Panthers, let's going to talk about the Tipton Blue Devils. Aaron Toll to my left, their longtime head coach. Of course, that name synonymous with Tipton football. Dakota Garman is to my right. Nathan Hawkins to the far right. We'll talk to the players in a matter of moments. Coach, it is always good to see you, and just thoughts on being ready for another year of Tipton Blue Devil football.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that it's actually here. We were just talking, summer's flown by. We've been, feel like we had a very, very productive summer. Lots of competition. We were able to go to Ball State 7-on-7 tournament in June. We had 11-on-11 at South Adams in June. We had team camp in July, and we competed in a scrimmage at Eastbrook. So we've been very, very busy. We feel like maybe we're ahead of where we typically are. So, like I said, it's flown by, but it's here, and it's always a great time of year.
Summer has evolved so much in your time coaching at Tipton. What are the differences you see when you have a busy summer like this, once you get to August, September, et cetera?
Well, my philosophy kind of is I think we do the same amount of work. It's just spread out throughout the summer.
Yeah.
So we should be way more advanced because we don't have as many practices in August leading up to game one. But it's totally different. I don't know that I like it necessarily.
Right.
It was kind of comforting when August 1st got here, and my wife knew when August 1st was here,
right.
I had no more responsibilities, zero. It was football and the coaching staff and the teams totally locked in, and they were ready to go for those 2 weeks of two-a-days. But different challenges in the summer. I mean, you challenge with, yes, we have to get things done, but I want those kids to be able to be kids too. And
right.
So we try to plan around those things. We try to give them as many three-day weekends as we can and be extremely productive as well.
When you look back at last year, and again, you've had such a great history. You talk about sectional championships, regional championships, state finals appearances. Won the case last year, but was a second consecutive winning season at 6-5. Just your thoughts on last fall for your program.
Kind of the last 2 years, in all honesty. I mean, I think we've been 7-5 and 6-5, and in an extremely difficult conference. But yet competitive in the tournament. We were on the brink of winning a sectional 2 years ago. We lost a heartbreaker at Eastern in the semifinals, 41-40 last year, who then turned around and gave Eastbrook a phenomenal game the following week. So again, we haven't gotten over that hurdle since 2020, but we are on the verge. We're in the discussion, and so we need to finish. We just need to take that next step.
Tipton is one of those teams. Again, they play in the Hoosier Conference. They are the smallest public school that plays in the conference, CC being a 1A school from a parochial standpoint, but those battles get you ready for postseason play that way.
For sure, if you can stay healthy.
Right.
The difficulty with it is you love to play good opponents every Friday, but when you have 40 on your sideline and they have 60 or 70 on their sideline, that typically means we're playing a lot more guys both ways, which means we're a lot more risk for injury. But yes, if you can get through our conference and play every single week, you are definitely ready for the 2A tournament. There's no doubt about it.
Tell me about your senior class this year, Coach.
Very, very small, but pretty talented. Two of them I brought with me today. They're both Dakota was a junior all-state wide receiver for us last year. He had almost 1,000 yards receiving. Also plays safety for us. Nathan has been a stalwart on the offensive and defensive line ever since he was a freshman. Looking for huge things out of Nathan. He's kind of the leader of our offensive line. We've got 3 other seniors. Mason Tice, who he moved back to Tipton last year. He's a offensive lineman that's really, really big. Didn't get to play because of an injury last year. He missed all of last year. So we're welcoming him to the offensive line. We have Leland Tim Teeter, who has really kind of taken that next step, and look for him to be a starter on defense and to contribute from running back on our offense. So very, very small class. However, we've got a big junior class, we've got a big freshman class. So our expectations are the same as they've always been.
Coach, as always, good to see you. Hang right there. We'll finish up.
I forgot Zach Emberton too. Zach Emberton is another corner. Sorry.
That's okay.
He's had a phenomenal year. I can't believe I left him out. He's had a phenomenal year in growth from last year to this year. He's going to be one of our starting corners and probably a starting wide receiver. But he's also taken that next step. So those are our 5 seniors.
Very good. All right, Dakota and Nathan joining us, guys. First of all, and Dakota, I'll start with you. There is something significant about being a senior and knowing this is your last year of high school football, of high school sports. Hearing senior in front of that name, just your thoughts on that.
I mean, it's definitely something that you don't really ever imagine happening because, I mean, you always look up to the guys ahead of you, and then now this year you're that guy. So it's definitely weird to think about, but I'm ready for that challenge.
Nathan, same question to you. You know, Coach says, hey, this is the senior leader of our offensive line. What does that mean to you? How do you go out and try to act on that, if you will?
Just try our best and just do everything that we can, you know. I'm a senior, and, you know, I didn't think this would happen this quickly, but it did, and I think we're ready.
Time flies. Obviously, you guys have been good. You're trying to get one of those sectional championships, if not more. Nathan, I'll start with you on this. You know you're not far away. Mm-hmm. How do you guys take that next step this year?
Just come back harder, just try our best, and just do everything that we can to get a sectional.
Dakota, Coach talked about, he said you're just shy of 1,000 yards. I've got the exact numbers in front of me. 59 catches, 972 yards, 9 touchdowns in 11 games. That's pretty impressive. How do you go out and top that this season?
Definitely by working harder. I mean, there's a lot of things I perfected from last year that was definitely not as good as I was as. So definitely just perfecting and finishing through plays. I mean, there's a lot of plays I probably could have finished and got more yards on. So more or less just finishing and, you know.
Coach talked about this. Literally, you two fellows are 40% of a senior class, which is rare to say at a place like Tipton. What sort of premium does that place on leadership when there's not that many of you guys that are part of this senior class?
Definitely high on that because all 5 of us can really lead. I mean, it's not just us two, but all 5 of us are really good at leading, and more of just we have more of a say and more of a voice for all the guys.
What are some of the goals, you know, whether it's personal or from a team standpoint, what are some of the goals you guys have set for this year?
I'd say definitely getting that sectional. I mean, that's what we've been chasing. Our freshman year, we came from a 2-9 season to now we're winning. And I think we are on that winning regimen, and I think we will win the sectional this year.
Nathan, same thoughts for you. Goal setting for you?
Just, you know, get the sectional win and just get better as a team.
Fellas, thank you very much. Aaron, always good to see you, buddy.
Great to see you. Thank you.
Aaron's one of the guys that's been with us every year we have done this show. It's great to always have the Tipton Blue Devils joining us here. Stay tuned. More coaches, more players, more football conversation, knowing that the season is not that far away, as in August the 21st. Again, it is the Coca-Cola of Kokomo Kickoff Special. Filming this at the Depot downtown. Sun King and Kokomo. Back with more in a moment here on ISC. And little volley, oh my goodness, what a touch for the goal. Kept over by Lawrence North, and they'll score on it. Oh my goodness, give it to him. Goal through the lane, and he knocks him. Oh my goodness. Welcome back here on the ISC Sports Network, and we are thrilled every time a team joins. Reference this with Coach Toll. Coach Grant from North Miami is one of those guys who's been with us every time we have done this show, which is awesome. But this team is now back-to-back sectional champions, which makes us even happier to see him. Joe Grant is to my left. Far right is Alan Wildermuth. Immediately to my right is Logan Smith. Fellas, thanks for being here. We'll get to you guys in a matter of moments. Coach, it is always good to see you. Congratulations on having those two sectional championships each of the last couple of years.
Yeah, been a great last couple of years, and I'll just talk about North Miami in general. Last year in school history was our most successful year. I'm not talking about football,
right.
But the whole school. We won sectionals in girls basketball, baseball, wrestling, football. You go back to the last 2 years, it's been the most successful 2-year span in North Miami history. The last 4 years been the most successful 4-year span in North Miami history. So it's been a fun ride. But you look at Smitty's here, and his brother played for us. 5 years ago? Your brother graduate, I think.
Yeah.
And he was a senior right before we kind of started this run a few years ago. And guys like him, and people like to use the word culture and things like that. Those guys built it. And so even through some lean years. So, we're obviously very fortunate to have some success. It doesn't happen by accident. Happens with guys like these guys sit next to us. But yeah, no, been a fun ride.
All right, let's talk about trying to build on that. And again, so much at a 1A school is simply the talent you have available, and then you build on top of the things that you just discussed. So tell me about the senior class you've got this year.
Yeah, so these seniors, we graduated a lot of seniors last year, and that's what people like to always lead with me is like, hey, you lost a lot of people.
Right.
Well, we think we got a lot of meat on the bone. So, I'll talk about these two guys as our group of 2 of our 10 that we know of, and we might have another one jump on, but, we're going to have 10 seniors this year. And, Logan Smith, IFCA first-team All-State, All-State wrestler, state qualifier. Alan Wildermuth, our starting quarterback, leader on our team, runs our offense. It starts with guys like this, and they've been on our program since, they were in elementary school. And building with, talking about building just within the program, these guys are going to be coaching our youth league football this year. And that's how you build things, through good and bad. Our seniors have always done that. But no, this senior class, it's, we got Logan Fain. He was a starter last year. Alan started last year. Smitty started last year. Alex Toll started last year. So we've got seniors coming back with playing experience, even if we did lose people. We feel, Cooper Pattison, I failed to mention him. He's our starting fullback and played D-line for us last year, moving him to linebacker. And, we've got a lot of weapons back. So we're excited.
So much of high school football is the work you now put in the offseason, the work you put in terms of the summer. What's different at a 1A school is some of these kids, you're working a farm during the course of the summer. Some of these kids are also playing basketball or playing baseball or stuff like that. How do you balance that and get the work in you want to during the course of the summer?
I think you just got to work with the kids. Like, at the end of the day, if a kid's going to go on a trip with their family, you got to be flexible.
Sure.
You can't dog them. Alan's whole family, the Wildermuths, are real big farmers in our community. So we know his family farms, and they make it work, for him to be at football, which is obviously we're very fortunate for our quarterback to always be there, right?
Right.
Guys have a job. Smitty's laying bricks in the summer, and he played baseball through the second week of June, playing in the semi-state in baseball. And like I say, he's a wrestler, so he's doing wrestling stuff too. So just working with kids and letting them be a kid. It was Smitty. I think he missed one day in the last 4 years, and it happened to be this year. And he went with a buddy to Kings Island or something.
Six Flags.
Yeah. But guess what? He called. He was a man. He said, "Coach, I'm going to go do this." All right, do your thing. Like we want them to do that. So I think that's where it starts. But yeah, these kids put a lot of work in the weight room and then on the field. And it's a different universe because I remember when I was playing growing up, we went to Tuesday night 7-on-7, and that's it.
Right.
So and we lifted, but
it's a bigger ask this time of
it
year
is.
These days, no
Yeah.
doubt. You guys play in an all 1A league. It is a great league because there are teams like North Judson, teams like Pioneer, who obviously made last year's state championship. What does your league play do to get you ready for postseason time?
Yeah, I think you mentioned it right there. The last 2 years in the North, Judson's played in the state finals and Pioneers played in the state finals. And, both those teams we went toe-to-toe with. We didn't like our results last year. Micah Rands kind of, gave us a little week 4 or whatever that was. But, no, we went toe-to-toe with those guys. So just kind of being more consistent, getting over that hump. In some of those games we lost, we turned the ball over. So we feel like our league, if we can be more disciplined and win big games in our league, that really kind of can catapult us into the playoffs and really give us confidence. Because if you can win games in our league, you can beat anybody in 1A football.
I'll ask you about the next step. I realize you got to make sure you take the same first one. That's grabbing a sectional, which is over 3 weeks, by no means a given. How do you try to then advance that a little bit forward if you can get past that level?
Yeah, the sectional and the sectional alignment's different this year. Heck, we got Pioneers back in our sectional, Caston's in our sectional for the first time in a while. Heck, we go down to Sheridan now. We grabbed Taylor in there.
Yeah.
So we're kind of a funky. We've been over to the west, but every one of our sectionals we've been in over the years. Heck, we were in Adams Central's forever.
Right.
So we've always had some meat grinder teams, but just 1 week at a time. Having kids get confidence at the right time and playing their best football at the right time, that's what you got to do. So it's really a week-to-week progression, and in our regional game last year, we were up until 7 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah.
South Adams threw had a really strange play that worked for them, and that's how they got the lead. So just kind of being more disciplined, being ready for those things, and a lot of that's coaching. So we got to get better as well.
All right, Coach, hang tight. We'll talk to your players. Again, Logan, my right, Alan on the far end. First of all, wrestling, baseball, and football. How do you balance those three during the course of a year?
I guess it's like just making sure over the summer, you go to weights and different things like that. And then come the time of the football, you're focusing on football, maybe go to a few wrestling things here. But really when you're there, just making sure you're focused and getting those good reps in for each sport. And then, comes around to game time, you're ready to go.
So many people that are wrestling and football guys talk about the advantage that you get, especially along the line, being a wrestler. How does that translate for you?
Oh, I think being a wrestler makes football so much easier, just the hard things you got to do in wrestling. 6-minute match, that's one of the toughest things you can do in sports, and just being able to do that, and especially the wrestling program we have at North Miami, you just get so much better. In life too, in general. Doing wrestling, it's a hard thing to do, and it makes everything else so much easier.
Alan, for you, how do you balance working on the farm with what you get to do on a football field?
I think we're fortunate on our farm. We can find help pretty easy. So if I need to take a day off, we can get somebody to cover, and I put football first.
All right. Being the quarterback at North Miami doesn't mean you're throwing the ball a lot, because you guys ran for over 350 yards a game. So how does that translate for you?
I'm ready to do whatever, and I hope we can pass a little more, but I like running.
Me too.
We up to 3 or 4 times a game passing this year, you think? Or?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah. We might hit double digits.
There you go. Okay, so I'm not trying to give away game plan here this early in the season. Logan, I'll start with you. Again, now that you're a senior, been a part of great teams as a sophomore and junior, how do you take it to the next level or kind of advance it more forward as a senior?
Yeah, as Coach was saying, of course we lost 15-something seniors like that, and that's something that probably gets highlighted. But at the same time, they're not talking about all the seniors we have upcoming, all the talent we have upcoming, and it's for sure going to be a new team, but we're going to find our own identity this year, and we're going to win some football games.
Alan, what are some of the goals you set for you and your teammates this year?
I want to improve myself, to make less mistakes, stay more determined, and help out the younger group and make sure they show up and get to work.
Logan, it sounds like from some of the accolades that I heard Coach talking about, there might be the chance for you to play at least one sport at the next level. What's the college prospects looking like for you?
Right now I'm just kind of taking it one day at a time. I don't know exactly what I'm planning on doing after high school, but if the opportunity presents itself in the right way, that sure could be a fun idea.
All right, to guys, thank you very much. Coach, as always, thank you very much. And this is the cool part. We've not done this before. We've talked about North Miami because they've been a part of the show every year. But again, through our friends at Brandon Bishop and Coca of Kokomo, he approached about a month ago and said, hey, if we wanted to bring the ISC crew, the vans that these guys saw outside, and actually produce a game in North Miami, could we do that? And the answer is yes. So our ISC Sports Network cameras are heading to Denver, Indiana for the first time. We're going to be at North Miami for the regular season finale, Hoosier North Athletic Conference game, as they take on Triton. So we will be seeing these guys in action, wearing those uniforms, in fact, coming up on October the 16th. Buddy, it's always good to see you.
Thank you.
Guys, have a great year. Best of luck to you. Again, that's the North Miami Warriors. Stay tuned. More good stuff comes your way next as you're watching the 2026 Coca-Cola of Kokomo Kickoff Special right here on ISC. And little volley, oh my goodness. What a touch for the goal. Jumped over by Lawrence North, and they'll score on it. Well, we just talked 1A with the guys from North Miami, similar classification for the guys from Tri-Central. The Trojans now joining us here on the ISC Sports Network. Players to my right, Owen Young and Eli Harding. To my left, the brand new head coach of Tri-Central and Adam Rich. And this is unique in that we did talk to Tri-Central last year, but unfortunately, about a week or two into the season, the Tri-Central folks realized, hey, we simply don't have the numbers to continue on. Played some JV games, but it was not anywhere close to a full varsity season. And so now this is a program that's not restarting, but trying to kind of pick itself back up by the bootstraps and try again. So first of all, Coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Welcome to the job. I guess just kind of give us a status report. What do the numbers look like? What does the outlook look like for the fall for you?
We've had pretty good buy-in over the summer when I got the job. Obviously, I'm starting a little later than I wanted to, but we're up to 19, 20 kids right now, which is a far cry from where we were a month ago. So when I took the job, we were at 7 or 8 committed. And we've got that number up to 19. We lost 6 transfers that hurt pretty bad. But we're getting a lot of buy-in from the kids that are interested. The kids are doing a great job recruiting other kids out there that maybe play another sport or played football previously. So we're just trying to, start a new culture. I went to Tri-Central. I graduated from there. I know what it can be. I worked with George Gilbert,
right?
Before, and I've been in the Westfield system for the last 6 years. So I bring a little bit different mentality, and I want us to get to where we're 35 kids strong, and I think we can definitely do that in the next couple of years.
Yeah, folks, we're 15 years removed, and maybe even less than that from Tri-Central playing in the 1A championship.
10 years.
Yeah, it's not that far. So but again, at a smaller school, that's sometimes, from a numbers standpoint, what you run into.
Sure.
So, you'll hear me talk to coaches and players about goals. I'm sure they look a lot different to you. What are some of the things that are going to make this a successful season for your football program?
We need to get back to the roots of just football in general. I think we have the school support We need to get the community support. And honestly, I would just want to have a full, successful varsity season this year. I know that that's hard for all of us people that are super competitive because we want what we want. Sure. We want it right now, right? So it's taken a little bit back to me to just get to where, we need to have a team out there. The first thing I want to do is have a team this year, have a varsity season, be competitive in our games. But what I like to look forward to and what I've told these kids is the fact that we've had voluntary workouts for the last 3-4 weeks, and we've had a huge amount of 8th graders and 7th graders that are bought into our system is a huge plus. I think that we're going to be able to build our youth program and our youth system to where when they get to high school, they're ready to go, they're excited, they're working into it. So that's what I'm looking down the road. I want to play this year. I want to be competitive. We want to win as many games as we possibly can. But within 3 years, I think we'll have this thing rocking. So.
And virtually every football coach is usually in the building. That's not the case for you, right? That's not the day. So what's the day job for you?
So I own a company called AV4 with Adam Vinatieri. Mm-hmm. We build custom vehicles for dealerships. So that's my day job. I'm also a full-time firefighter at the Indianapolis Airport. So
that's 3 jobs, by the way.
So I'm running thin right now. I was offered a job in the school doing study hall and weights. I've not decided if I'm going to take that or not yet. One of the things guy has to give. So if I do that, the fire department stuff will have to go bye-bye. It might have to go bye-bye anyways, but I love coaching. We don't do it for the money. We do it because we love it, and I definitely want to get back to the kids. So.
He did just casually name drop a Hall of Famer, by the way. Have you recruited him to be your kicking coach yet at this point?
So he has a son right now that's at Zionsville. He's a junior. So he's going to be there for the next 2 years, but we've already talked. Actually, we talked this morning about possibly coming up here, doing maybe a kicking camp next year or something like that with his son AJ. And then 2 years, he wants to come be a part of it. So
tell me about these 2 guys that we're going to talk to here.
So Eli and Owen have both been pretty instrumental since I've gotten here. Eli's been to every workout. Owen's been to as many as he possibly can. He had a couple of vacations he had to get scheduled. So they're both sophomores and juniors. Sorry, they're both juniors, yep. And they really have gotten on board, and they've been leaders on the field, off the field. They've been instrumental in getting me contact with kids that either are on the fence of whether they want to play or not. And I think that they're going to be definite leaders, along with Jalen Earnhardt, Zeke Parton. I think those 4 are going to be my guys that, take this to the next level.
And so often we say, hey, senior class. My guess is you're kind of resetting this year. You really don't care what class they are.
We really only have
let's go play.
2 or 3 seniors that are even going to be playing on the field. Our junior and sophomore class are going to be our thing. And honestly, we've got a lot of freshmen that are coming in and are super interested. And if we can get them playing on the field when they're a freshman, by the time they get sophomores, juniors, and seniors, we'll be going. So.
All right, well, Coach, thank you. Hang loose for a second.
Yep.
All right, again, Eli to my right, Owen to his right as well. So, guys, let's talk about last year first. You kind of knew in preseason that first week, hey, numbers were down. When the decision was made to kind of stop the varsity season, what went through your mind? How'd you handle that?
For me, it was I was honestly disappointed about it. I couldn't do anything because I was one of the few players that got injured during that. But it was just, we couldn't do anything about it. We had players out of position. We didn't really know what was going to players were going to do because of how numbers at that point, and it was also for the betterment of us so we don't cause any further harm.
What has it been like now that the program is going to go forward? Coach has said, hey, you're kind of recruiting some friends and some buddies in the hallway. What has it been like to try to get more guys into the program?
I mean, it's been fun. I love what coaches do. We love that we've had so much commitment from even with middle schoolers coming in and wanting to come play, and it's been a blast having them, and I'm looking forward for the next couple of years.
Owen, same thing for you. How did you handle your season ending way too early last year?
Well, last year, our first game, we had a lot of injuries come through that, and So with the fact that we had all those injuries, it was hard to put it in perspective that we can follow the varsity season. We can keep continuing.
Yep.
And it was hard, and we didn't have enough players, and we didn't have enough skill and enough coaching abilities to get through that.
Sure.
And this year is looking way better. We have way more players on board. The middle school is on board with Coach Rich and what he's doing. So they're moving their plays. And what the high school is doing, the middle school is going to do better. And then so when they come up, they'll be in our position. So,
Owen, what are some of the goals you and your teammates have set for this year? What's going to make this a good year for you guys?
well, I feel we need we're going to have a good varsity season, that we're going to stay varsity. There's no changing. Just the fact of getting more players on the team and working day out and day forward, we got this. We're gonna win.
When you have 19 or 20 guys on the team now, you know you're playing both ways. I can figure out number 75 is playing on both the offensive and defensive line. Eli, what are the spots you're playing in both directions?
For defense right now, I play in defensive end, but offense is kind of up in the air at the moment. It's more just based on who we have and what positions we need filled.
And obviously that with that level of numbers, that can change, as you well know, on a weekly basis. Everybody's goal is to win as many games as possible and to, win sectional championship, win regional, and you guys want to get there eventually. But it's probably not going to happen this year. So what are some of the goals you have set, Eli, for this season?
For me, I would honestly, I want to have a full season and have probably as much commitment as we can through with as many juniors and sophomores and freshmen as we can. And those seniors is going to be hard to get, but I'm just more looking forward to next year and the years after that.
All right, Coach, I'm going to bring it back to you for a final thing, and this is almost feel like a recruiting pitch for the people that are watching this from your half of Tipton County. You got a couple of, seems like really solid young men here that you're trying to rebuild a foundation of a program around. Why should folks come out and not just support the team, but potentially if they're high school boys, play on the team? What is this? What do you want their experience to be like this year and going forward at Tri-Central?
We're going to make this work.
Yeah.
I don't fail at stuff. I'm just not going to. But I have a lot of connections, and I think having those connections, having a good coaching staff in place, and having people committed. The school's backed me 100%. They're behind me. They're behind what we're doing. They're behind what we're building. We're trying to do a lot of stuff. Money is always an issue, so
Right.
we're always accepting sponsors and different things like that just to get us to where we need to get equipment-wise and playing-wise. But we're building something special here. And like I said, we had a state title 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And not anybody around here can say that.
True.
We are the only ones that can say that, and we'll get back there again. It's just a matter of us being patient, us going around the process and doing it the right way. And I'm really, really excited about what the future holds for Tri-Central football.
Adam, thanks for being here.
No
and
problem.
Good luck with everything.
Absolutely.
Eli, congratulations. Owen, congratulations. Great to meet you guys. Good luck this season. Tri-Central Trojans backing at them this year in terms of high school football. We'll take this quick timeout. We're going to Cass County next. We'll figure out which team will join us when we come back as you're watching the 2026 Coca-Cola of Kokomo Kickoff Special right here on ISC.
My father's father had two brothers and a sister. His older sister, Hazel, had married a man named Jim Yunker, and he was involved in the bottling business early on, as early as 1906 in Indianapolis, and he sold flavors. He would have had grape, cream soda, blood orange, ginger ale. In 1915, he got the franchise for Coca-Cola in Indianapolis. So then we fast forward 20 years later to 1935, Jim Yunker approached my grandfather and his two brothers and said the franchises in Kokomo, Logansport, and Peru are available for sale, and you guys want this. Trust me, you want to get in the Coca-Cola business.
Welcome back again. It's the ISC Sports Network and the Coca-Cola of Kokomo Kickoff Special. And over the last 2 or 3 years, one of the newer schools that is a partner with the folks at Coca-Cola of Kokomo would be the Berries of Logansport. As I was telling the fellas as they sat down, a place that we know well on the ISC Sports Network, given the home of the Greater Lafayette World Series is Jim Turner Field year in and year out. Troy Hudson now is in his second year in charge of the Berries. He's brought Quincy Jackson, R.J. Clem. We'll talk to the players in a matter of moment. Coach, it's good to see you again. 8-4 and a sectional final appearance. How did year one go by your estimation a season ago?
Well, it comes at you fast year one as a head football coach. There's no question about that. We accomplished a lot year one. Ultimate goal, I think, for us every year is to get to the state championship and win the state championship. We took a step in the right direction from the year before. We got to the semifinals against Lebanon. This last year, we fell 14 yards short of punching it in for an opportunity to win our sectionals and go play Bishop Dwenger. It was a great learning experience. When you take that first year as a gig and things that you want to correct and things you want to get better. So I know we're excited about this year. I think we've had a great off season all the way around, and I know we're ready to get going.
I think you're a couple of years into it now, but obviously for generations, part of the North Central Conference. Now being a part of the Hoosier Conference, how has that changed things for you guys in football?
We play some smaller schools, but when it comes to it, we've got some really good coaches all the way through. You got state championship level coaches. And so for us, I think the competition all the way through is extremely solid. I don't think you have a top end or bottom end in any when it comes to the conference. Every week for you is a tough grind, and you're going to play well-coached teams, and so you got to be very well prepared as well.
Tell me about your senior class that you've got to lead you this year.
Yeah, we've got a great senior class. We're going to be about 13, 14 deep from a senior standpoint. We met at in the spring and talked a lot about what we want it to look like through the summer and the spring. Their dedication over the summer has been I can't ask for anything else what they've done, holding kids accountable, holding each other accountable. We've had great numbers from a weight standpoint. We've had great numbers from a spring practice standpoint. These guys are hungry. They know what it hurt. It hurt extremely bad losing that sectional championship, and I know the boys want more.
I literally have your stats put up in front of me. You bring back like almost every yard rushing you had from last year, but it is going to be a change at quarterback position. How is that shaping up for you?
Yeah, we've got a junior, and Cooper Jones is probably leading the charge right now. He's a baseball kid, plays shortstop from a baseball team, good pitcher as well. He's learning, no question about it. He can sling it. He can throw the ball. Just making sure that we're throwing it to the right person always is important. But no, he can lead the charge. He's really come a long way from a leadership standpoint over these last 2 years. And, in that position, you have to have a great leader.
All right, tell me about these two young men we're about to talk with.
Yeah, Quincy Jackson here, just a tough kid. Last year he was voted MVP by his teammates. He kind of did a little bit of everything. Returned kicks for us, plays safety for us. He's a great halfback, tough, hard kid. And he's a great leader as well, a vocal leader for us. And I think he's going to have a great year. The other kid is R.J. Clem. He had just committed to Wake Forest. And so he had a bunch of offers for him, and Wake Forest was a good fit for him. But he's one as well. He's a true athlete. He plays basketball. He does track. And same with Quincy. He's a true athlete as well. And so these are two great leaders for us. And if we're going to have success this year, it's going to be because of them.
All right, Coach, hang loose for a second. Fellas, obviously Coach had some great things to say about you. And last year was your first year playing for him. What was it like playing for Coach Hudson the first time a season ago?
It was great. I love Coach Johnson, but it was definitely a change
for sure, offense-wise as well. We didn't change a whole lot last year just because he got into it so quickly. But, I mean, it was a great first year. 8-4, not too bad.
Yep.
Sectional champ or runner-up sectional championship was, I mean, better than the past years. So,
Quincy, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, first year, who was coaching defense, I really enjoyed that. That was my first year starting varsity also, so that was a good experience for me, having him coach me on defense, and then him becoming my head coach. I already knew I was going to enjoy it, and then we just had a great year. Like he said, sectional championship, made it to the sectional championship, but, I mean, still huge improvements from the years before, and, yeah, this year we expect better.
1A, 2A, 3A level, you're kind of used to guys playing both ways. 4A, maybe that starts to change a little bit. Not for you. You're out there like almost pretty much every snap, and it sounds like on special teams as well. How do you get yourself ready for that for the upcoming season?
You got to stay in shape, conditioning. Yeah, like he said, the summer stuff. If you're not showing up, you're not going to be ready, you know, especially if you're playing on both sides of the ball and special teams. Yeah, you just got to make sure you keep grinding, I guess.
RJ, obviously, Coach talked about it, and thankfully I can see that Demon Deacons bracelet that you're wearing on your left wrist as well. To commit to an ACC school is impressive, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Why was that the right place for you to play after your days at Logan?
I mean, the coaching was awesome. I love all those guys up there. But it's also a smaller school. I'm not big on these huge schools.
Sure.
But, I mean, they play good competition. Maybe not as good as the Big Ten. But, I mean, they still play, I mean, Miami, Clemson, some great schools, and they're on their way up as well. Coach Dickert, he's a new coach there. And, I mean, I love the players there and just everything about it.
Coach talked about being a basketball player as well. Basketball lineman is a unique combination, so tell us about how you kind of do those two.
I mean, I've always been leaner for a lineman, especially in high school.
Yep.
But
they'll change in the ACC, but that's a good starting base to have, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely helped with athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say I move pretty well on the field. I'm definitely more athletic compared to most linemen, but it's just a good base, I would say. So I'm not one of these fat guys out there trying to get out into the open field.
You can move a little bit out there, which is why you're playing the ACC coming up a year from now. Quincy, what are some of the goals you and your teammates have set for this year?
Yeah, so we have a lot of people returning, so that helps a whole lot. We've talked about it. Really, I mean, like Coach said, state would be great. But I see it as just taking one step at a time for each championship. Start with the sectional, regional, semi-state, state. I think we can do it all this year. Yeah, pretty good offense coming back. Like you said, everybody's returning. Defense, we really didn't lose too much. But, yeah, I think we have a great team coming back. So,
RJ, same thing. What are some of the goals you've set for this year?
I mean, state, obviously. Regular season matters, but definitely not as much as the postseason. So I think the regular season really just building up towards the postseason, because you could be 0-10 in the regular season and win it all. So, I mean, along with what he said on defense, we lost Lauren Taylor and a few of our linebackers, which always hurts, but we definitely have the depth for it to step up. And we have some young guys who definitely want it.
Final thing before we let you go, and Coach, I'll come back to you on this one. Obviously, you're more thinking about week one.
Yes.
Then you'll think about conference play. But I'm going to ask you a postseason question anyway. Obviously, you were so close last year. Your sectional, a lot of teams are the same. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Fort Wayne Lewis catches your attention, making the jump up from 3A to 4A. Just your thoughts about the postseason path when you get to it a couple of months from now.
Yeah, I mean, I think our sectional definitely got a little bit tougher. You had Yorktown in there as well.
Yep.
You got Yorktown, you got Lures. And so I don't think it's not going to be any easier, but, you know, to win a state championship, it's not easy. So you're going to have to play somebody good at some point. But, you know, Quincy says it pretty good. You know, we take it one step at a time. Obviously, you know, the end goal is to win a state championship. And so if we can keep that mindset, you know, going into week one, hey, you know, the ultimate goal at the end is to win that state. But it's just 1 week at a time. And, you know, you keep grinding to the end, and you hope you're healthy at the end. You hope you have the guys that you need to at the end. And, you hope at the end of the year you're down there at Lucas Oil and hosting that state championship.
Logansport Berries, again, head coach Troy Hudson, again, Quincy Jackson, RJ Clem. Fellas, thank you for the time and good luck this year.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Stay tuned. We'll talk about their county rivals in Lewis Cass when we come back as you watch the 2026 Coca-Cola Kokomo Kickoff Special right here on ISC. And little volley, oh my goodness, what a touch for the goal. Kept over by Lawrence North, and they'll score on it. I guess you could call this the Cass County part of the program. We had Logansport on the previous segment. Now we get the Lewis Cass Kings that are stopping by. Clay Mannering, their head coach, Elijah Otten joining us, and I can't forget about old number 76, told me he played fullback. Michael Larimore over here to his right. Fellas, we'll get to you in a matter of moments. Coach, it is always good to see you. Coach has been expanding his family over the course of the offseason, so it's been a busy summer in the Mannering household. When you've not been home, you've been working with these guys. How was your summer workouts, practices, etc.?
It's been a good summer. We've been moving this direction in a while. We really have just turned June into old school lifting weights. And so it's a lot like the old calendar. We don't do any football practice other than we go to camp for 3 days. And then we packed basically our whole summer into 2 weeks when we got back, took advantage of, you get 12 days in the summer. So anyway, it was a good summer. We've got a lot of upperclassmen this year, returning starters and role players, and that always makes summer go a little bit smoother when you got guys who walk right in and remember what they're doing and things like that. So it was good. We got out of it what we wanted to, and excited to get into the season.
Is part of that just to try to limit wear and tear, knowing at a 2A school you got a lot of multi-sport athletes, and you got farm kids, you got kids that are baseball, basketball. Kind of tell me why you said, all right, let's kind of change the method we do this here.
There's a couple reasons. One, I'm a big believer. I think you can get burnout at any sport, and we're hoping to play in November this year. And if your season starts June 1st, in some of these bigger schools, man, they're doing stuff in May. It's a long season, so it's a long season for me too. So that's one reason. And then June is you always run into baseball and basketball, and I preach that I want our guys to do those things. And so if I'm telling them to be 2 and 3 sport athletes, I feel like I need to back it up as well. So we just focus on bigger, faster, stronger in June. Go play basketball, go play baseball, and then hopefully by July you're all football, and our numbers I think showed this year. We had 42 at most of our practices. We'll pick up a few in August, but yeah, I was happy with that.
You came this close to grabbing a sectional championship last year. Played deeper into the tournament than you had in a little bit. Looking back at last year's 8-4, what are you most proud of?
I'll start with just a fun story. I've got a 5-year-old daughter, and we didn't know we were going to be in a position to play for a trophy, but I kind of pumped it up that week, and she was excited. We lose the game later in December. I said, "Hey, Esty, we're going to go out to the football stadium. Do you want to come with?" She goes, "Why? You're not the football coach." I said, what do you mean? She goes, "Well, you didn't win the trophy." Man, that's a tough standard at home. But no, last year I really felt like we overachieved. We had 3 seniors, and so we were going to have a lot of underclassmen step up and fill those holes. And early on, our first game we lost 28-0 against Pioneer, and it felt like, man, this could be a long one. But we squeaked one out against Peru, and then the following week beat a good Manchester team, and just felt the momentum grow all year. Got to the point we played Seeger, who was a 9-1 team going into that, and we had them with a running clock in the first half somehow. And so we were a team that just got better all year and put ourselves in that position, which hopefully sets us up well for this season.
You touched on it already. You got a lot of juniors and seniors. Tell me about this senior class.
Yeah, so this is the most seniors I've had as a coach. We got 14 this year, and so almost all of them were role players or starters in last year's team. And We got a lot of depth at the running back position. We're probably going to rotate 6 or 7 running backs. We anticipate, and none of them have set themselves apart from the rest, but it'll be a running back by committee in our 3 running back system. We've got lots of linemen too. We're still working on finding the right combination. Michael over there he started as a sophomore last year at center. So we're hoping he takes that next step. Elijah was a nose man for us last year, but he's one that we need to see him have a big role on offense as well. And we've got a returning starter at quarterback and split end and tight end. And so anyway, we've got enough guys where I haven't had this problem in a while, but got to figure out, where it's best for everyone to play, not like in years past sometimes when, hey, you're going to have to play this spot.
Right.
So, yep.
It's a good problem. Did I take it as a sign about your team? You sent 2 linemen our way today?
Absolutely.
Where you might be the strongest at?
Yeah, they are. Both these guys have had tremendous off seasons. Elijah, we make a big deal in our program. We have the strength club, which is kind of the first level, and then an 800-pound club, 900 and 1,000. So Elijah's been in the 1,000-pound club now for a little over a year, which is hard to do. We cap the squad at 420 pounds, but he's done a great job working to become a player. Michael, very similar. He's not in the 1,000-pound club yet, but he's working that way. And both these guys are in my weightlifting class and do great. And they're great leaders on our team and good ambassadors for the program.
All right, so with that, Elijah is to my right. Michael is over there wearing the Cass Kings hat on his right. Elijah, first of all, congratulations on a really good year last year.
Thank you.
How do you kind of take that next step in your senior season?
Look at it as all the returners we have and the upcoming guys that were working their butts off at practice and now becoming players, just like my class was, the senior class, and just take it as getting better as we have over this summer.
How does it feel different knowing this is the last go-around for you as a football player at Cass?
Think about it as be more hungry during the games, get more aggressive, and realize that it's your last time playing each and every one of these teams and go after it like you don't have anything to lose.
Michael, your thoughts on how last year ended and just getting 8 wins and getting to that sectional championship game. What are your memories of the way last season ended?
It was fun. We had rough practices every once in a while, which I think caused the rough end there at the end of the season. But for the most part, we did relatively well throughout the season. And
5 points away from winning a sectional championship. How do you get over that hump now this time around?
I think we push harder in the weight room and just teach the freshmen how to do it so that way we can continue on.
You joked about, I said, I got a couple of linemen. You go, well, I play fullback. Sounds like Coach has 5 or 6 guys in the running back position. How are you going to convince him to work yourself into that rotation next year?
I don't know. He's got to just believe in the process here and let me run the ball every once in a while.
Now, again, you are a junior, correct?
Yes.
So, again, you've got at least another year left to go. So a little bit different in terms of kind of the senior perspective. But how do you feel you can be a better player than you were at this time a year ago?
I just got to work faster at practice and get my numbers up in the weight room and continue pushing at it.
Elijah, what are some of the goals that you've set for you and your teammates this year?
Me being a senior set an example for all the underclassmen, so one day they could be in a position we are now and having our eyes on a conference and sectional championship and lead the team as good as I can.
Obviously, Coach, I'll get back to you here. And again, you have 8 conference games, 1 non-conference game. But that non-conference game is massive because of who you play.
Yeah.
What's it like having a rivalry game out of the chute with Pioneer?
Well, it's huge. It's really a love-hate with Pioneer. It's kind of like your brothers. So I love my brother, but there's nobody I've fought with more in my life, kind of thing. So.
And I know your brother. I understand that relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're a great program, and so it's a measuring stick early on. And one focus for our coaching staff this year and for our team is, I think the last several years we have finished the season a very good football team, but you got to be ready week 1. And, who's the most polished, who's the most physical, who's the fastest, etc. And so everything we've done this summer has kind of been through the lens of, will it work against the Pioneer Panthers? And they're coming off a semi-state championship last year, so that's they'll be tough again this year. So we went to camp with them, had a good time, but we'd like to get that week 1 victory for sure.
You may be the 2A team, they may be the 1A team, but I know if it's good enough for Pioneer, it's good enough for most of the teams that you play.
Yeah, no question. So that'll be a big one for us, and we feel like if we can win that, there's we feel like we can compete in every game on our schedule this year. So.
Clay, good to see you, buddy.
Hey, thanks a lot.
On the new addition to the family. Yep. Elijah and Michael, guys, thank you so much for the time. These are the Lewis Gas Kings. Open up a Pioneer coming up on August the 21st. We'll take this quick time out. We got more teams to talk about when we come back. Here's you watching the 2026 Coca-Cola of Kokomo Kickoff Special right here on ISC. And then volley, oh my goodness, what a touch for the goal. Kept though by Lawrence North, and they'll score on it. Welcome back on the ISC Sports Network. Rolling along, we're back to Howard County now in terms of location, the Sun King Depot in downtown Kokomo. But in terms of teams, the Northwestern Tigers joining us now. Second-year head coach Shane Turnipseed joining us. And also, we clearly have the lineman theme going over the last couple of rotations. Ozzie Pippinger is to my right. Austin Braden down at the end of the line. Fellas, hang tight. We'll get back to you in a second. Shane, how is life different? First of all, good to see you again.
Good to see you, too.
How is life different for you now that you've been through this one time, and this is your second year now in charge of the Northwestern program?
It's been really great. Not having to start from ground zero in the winter and spring and being able to build off of what we did last year. It's been an amazing feeling. My head is much more above water this year than it was last year, but just being able to take the things that we've learned from last year and get better and implement those fixes for this year has been a great feeling in year 2.
Looking back at 4 and 6, again, not just about victories. What were you most proud of about last year's group?
I was proud of our fight. Every game we fought. 4 and 6 wasn't what we wanted. It wasn't. We have higher goals and higher standards than that, but it was the second most wins in the last 10 years at Northwestern. I was proud of how many young guys we got reps. We were very young last year, and bring those guys back, and they have Friday night reps, whereas last year we didn't have a ton of guys that had previous Friday night reps. So all of that we're able to build off of for this year, and I think we got a good shot to be pretty good.
You guys, it's unique in your schedule. You got a conference game right out of the chute. You play 8 of 9 conference games. What do you know about Manchester coming up for August the 21st?
Yeah, it's definitely interesting playing a conference game so early, but it's great. It gets your attention, gets everyone's attention over the summer. Manchester last year, we started going out 21-0 and ended up losing that game. Okay, so we have that motivation, we have that to learn from, and it's helped fuel us because we start the ground running right away.
Summer, how's it gone for you and your guys from a workout practice numbers standpoint?
Yeah, we've had a great summer, great numbers. We had a couple of small injuries, but we'll have everyone back here when we start next week. But great summer. Like I said, it was great not starting from the ground, being able to build off of what we did last year. Everyone knows schemes and things like that. We miss guys here and there with travel baseball and things that come up that everyone has to deal with. But it was really a great summer for us. And we had a lot of great competition in our scrimmages, too.
Again, one thing to talk about Northwestern, there's been some really good coaches before you, but it's just been guys been in and out. It's been guys here for a couple of years, 3 years, and this is year 2, for you. What's it like to try to kind of plant those roots and kind of tell people, all right, I want to be here for the long haul? How do you kind of deal with that, handle that, et cetera?
Yeah, I obviously knew about the turnover. Last year, we moved to Kokomo from Lafayette around spring break, and it was so crazy for me to hear about people being excited about that. I'm like, I wasn't going to drive an hour every day, 2 hours technically, right. But people were excited about just us moving to the community. So, definitely being same offense, same defense for the second year is something these guys haven't always had. So having that stability and trying to build the program from the ground up and get all of our youth and middle school levels on the same page it's how you build a successful program, and that's what I'm here to do.
All right, tell me about your senior class this year.
Yeah, our senior class has been very successful from youth all the way up. They're very strong. Pretty much the whole class were starters last year, and very strong class. We have great linemen, great skill players in that class, and we're very excited about that class. And they've really grown as leaders too. We implemented our leadership council throughout the off season and have really worked to pour into them in that way. And a lot of our senior classes in that group. And so we're very excited about them leading us this fall.
Let's talk to a couple of them here in terms of Ozzie and Austin. Ozzie, we'll start with you. And again, when I ask Coach, in 4 years of high school football, this is the third different coach that you have had. How have you and your classmates kind of handled that during your time at Northwestern?
We've always been a tight-knit group of guys, so we always just go in with each other, work with each other, especially with all the new stuff, getting together, going through it all together. It's hard to do it when it's just you're off by yourself, so we try to do it as a group.
When you look back at last year in 4 and 6, what are the lessons you take from last year and apply to this season?
We definitely need to finish our games. We start off hot, and then in the second half we kind of get a little bit lazy some games, but we'll definitely work on that this year and hopefully be able to put a way better year together.
Frankly, that's what off-season weights and conditioning are for, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so with that, Austin, let's get to you. Just kind of your thoughts as to how things played out last year and how do you apply it to this season?
So last year I think we did pretty good. As again, what Ozzie said, we definitely gave up halfway through. This year, I'm trying to get the boys to all play throughout the entire game, no giving up or anything like that, because I will say giving up is not it for this team.
This is the first time that you will have had the same coach in back-to-back years.
It is.
What does that mean for you and your teammates?
It's definitely a good feeling that I'm able to rely on him and be able to, come to him if I need anything, compared to we had Small. Yeah, he was a good coach, but he left early. Man, it would have been great to have him for more years, but I'm pretty happy with him.
You guys know success because, as you talked about, when you played for Caleb Small, you won 9 games.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this program historically has had success, maybe not as much recently. What would it mean to you to kind of reestablish that culture here at Northwestern High School?
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Basically, what would it mean to you to kind of make sure that your group kind of laid the bedrock for for the future, for the foundation, that you could kind of, again, get things, making sure you're going in the right way?
I definitely say we definitely got to get conditioned for sure. And then we definitely
You're getting there. It's all right.
We definitely need to be more disciplined.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
Understood. Ozzie, what are some of the goals you guys have set for this year?
Definitely, main goal for me and my guys, get rid of all the penalties. We had a lot of bad penalties last year that held us back, and once we figure that out, we'll be able to play a better game and hopefully build a really great year.
Austin, what is there a goal that you've set for this year for you and your teammates?
Definitely win conference.
Yeah.
That's my big goal. If we can go farther, then that'll be even better.
Final thing before we let you go, and Coach, will come back to you. Again, goal setting for this group. What's the outlook for these guys? What can this group attain for you this year?
Yeah, we try to keep our focuses on the day-to-day, getting better every single day, putting everything that we can into it, but we definitely have that big goal of winning conference. We feel like we have a team that can compete, and if we continue to focus on the day-to-day and getting better and putting everything we can into each rep, each practice, we feel like we can accomplish that. So that's definitely the big goal this year.
Shane, good to see you, buddy.
Thank you so much for all you do.
You got it. Fellas, a pleasure to meet you guys. Good luck this season.
Thank you.
Again, Shane to my left. Again, Ozzie and Austin to my right. They are the, again, Northwestern squad that will be kicking things off with Manchester. Coming up on August the 21st, we'll talk about one of their county rivals in Kokomo. They'll be joining us next as we are live at Sun King Depot in Kokomo. Back with more in a moment here on ISC.
My father's father had 2 brothers and a sister. His older sister, Hazel, had married a man named Jim Yunker, and he was involved in the bottling business early on, as early as 1906 in Indianapolis, and he sold flavors. He would have had grape, cream soda, blood orange, ginger ale. In 1915, he got the franchise for Coca-Cola in Indianapolis. So then we fast forward 20 years later to 1935, Jim Yunker approached my grandfather and his 2 brothers and said the franchises in Kokomo, Logansport, and Peru are available for sale, and you guys want this. Trust me, you want to get in the Coca-Cola business.
Welcome back here on the ISC Sports Network. It is the Coca-Cola of Kokomo kickoff special, and it's time for the Cats with the K, the home team, to be a part of it. Again, to my right, Ben Carey and Luke Calloway, players for this year's Wildcat squad. We'll get them in a matter of moments, but joining us now, he is the brand new head coach at Kokomo. It is Grant Foes that joins us. Grant, first of all, welcome. A pleasure to meet you. What is it like hearing Kokomo head coach now in front of your name?
Man, I'm blessed. Everything I could dreamed of, being a head coach at high school football level. Obviously, being with Kokomo last year, I got pretty familiar with the place, and now I'm step into that role. It's just been anything I've dreamed of, man. It's been awesome.
To use the basketball analogy, you're kind of sliding one chair over. Again, the kids know you. You know the team, the facility, et cetera. What has it been like bumping up now to being the head coach?
I think you just nailed it on the head. Like, the kids already knew me coming into it. It's been phenomenal. The transition has probably been as easy as a head coaching transition could be. And I credit the players and the rest of the coaching staff for accepting me and bringing me on board, and they've just been supportive from day one.
Without kind of giving away game plan, anything that, like, from a scheme standpoint, like, all right, I'm going to change things up and kind of put my thumbprint on this, or is kind of what the Cats did last year really kind of what you're looking to do this year?
Yeah, I would say it's a little bit of a mix of both. Yep. It's a very similar offense, but I have put my thumbprints on it, and defensively, again, we're very similar with some different thumbprints as well. So, yeah, it's a mixture of both.
Yep.
We're going to look similar to the naked eye, but there's going to be our different thumbprints on it.
And we're not giving that away on the show. For anybody that's playing Kokomo that's watching this, we're not trying to, kind of give away trade secrets here. If memory serves me right, you're pretty young for a head coach, correct?
Yes.
How many years in coaching has this been for you now?
This is my second year in coaching.
And you're how old?
23.
Okay, so what is it like coaching guys 5, 6, 7 years younger than you are?
I just take it with a professional approach, but with that, I'm able to build relationships with them, right? You know, I was in their shoes 5, 6, 7 years ago, and I know what it takes to win on a Friday night, know what it takes to win on a Saturday. I know what it takes, you know, to build a program, and I'm confident that I can do it with these guys, and they just do well. We build that relationship. They do well listening, and we've taken off from here.
Whose brain do you kind of pick in terms of, again, you know the game, you know the kids, but in terms of being a head coach, who are you leaning on for advice this year?
I lean on Jason Spear a lot. He's my defensive coordinator. I lean on my dad. I lean on my college coaches. I just lean on everybody who I've made connections with throughout, whether I was playing football or whether I was coaching football. I lean on a lot of those guys.
You play at a wonderful facility. Kokomo does not lack for facilities. What's it like calling Walter Cross Field home?
Oh, man, it's awesome. Like, you just nailed it on the head. We have one of the best facilities in the state. It's a beautiful day. Every day we're walking into practice, and I'm just like, man, like this is my job. This is awesome. So, you know, don't take anything for granted. We're very thankful for what we have, but yeah, it's been awesome.
It's unique in being in the North Central Conference, which obviously you guys have been a part of almost since the inception, if not since the inception. But it's 6 teams for football, and you don't start playing league games till week 5. It's almost kind of like a college schedule. You got a little time to figure it out before league play kicks in. What's it like kind of having 2 different chunks of your season like that?
Right, you know, so we can take those first 4 weeks of the season and we can, you know, make any tweaks that we need to take and still play competitive football as our schedule allows us to do. And then we get into the conference play, which is very important for us. Obviously, it's a rich tradition, a lot of great teams in our conference, and I love having the 2 different sections because we can figure out who we are, and then we can get right at it when it's time to go.
Didn't exactly schedule anybody easy, but when you're not all 5A and 6A foes that Kokomo is playing those first 4 weeks of the season. All right, tell us about your senior class.
Oh, man, my senior class is awesome. They got a lot of returners. You got 2 of them sitting over there. A lot of leadership qualities. They've been through change in this program. They've taken it with stride, and they've ran with it, man. These guys are used to it now. With me coming in last year, they know the similarities of both programs, and they know what it takes and what they need to do to win. These guys have seen Kokomo winning football in their lives. They want to get back to Kokomo winning football right now. I think they're a great class. They're a great tight-knit group, and they're really just awesome leaders for our young kids in our program.
All right, let's get to Ben and Luke. This is Luke to my right, Ben on the far side of the conversation. Luke, we'll start with you. Again, this is now the 3rd different head coach you played for in the last 3 years. How, and you and your teammates, how have you kind of handled that transition?
So it's been like, it's been nice, especially with having Foes as a coach last year. Being able to like already know him, and it's kind of like he said, like it's a lot of the same things, and he's been able to add a lot to it. But we also just I feel like as a team we've really come together, and that's really helped because ultimately, no matter how good of a head coach you are, you got to have a team behind you. So that's definitely been helpful.
Ben, again, you know the new coach. He was here last year. What's it like seeing him kind of switch positions and become the head coach?
Yeah, I didn't really know too much about him, but he's done well, I think, and I've heard great things from his Indiana Westland coaches that he played under. And I think everyone's buying into the process, and it's good.
I'm friends with the 2 guys that were the previous head coaches. Obviously, Austin was here earlier, and I've known Caleb Small dating back to his high school. He's the Hamilton Knights. They're not exactly older guys, but what's it like having a coach that's not that far removed in age from you?
Yeah, it's fun for sure. I think the other guys think so as well. They can really just bond with him a little better.
Luke, as Grant talked about, Kokomo is not that far removed from being a really good football team and playing deep into the state tournament. I did the game they played in the 5A championship game a handful of years ago. How far away do you feel you guys are from getting back to that level of winning here at Kokomo?
I feel like we're really close. We just, it's really just we just need to come together. I think a lot of the times we get, there's sometimes we'll get too focused on the wrong things, but, this year Coach Foes has really been able to coming in. Really, he's been able to help us focus on the things that are really important. I think that's what's going to take us to the next level.
What are some of the goals, Luke, you have set for this year?
As a team, there's kind of some things that we've, as captain, talked about is really just winning the conference. Winning games and coming out early. So yeah.
Ben, same for you. What's going to make this a good season for you?
Yeah, obviously I would like to win state. I mean, that's the ultimate goal. I really think we can go far this year. We're one of the biggest schools in 4A, and we got a lot of seniors. We got the right guys that can do that. So,
it's good for any football team to get along, to have that camaraderie. But when you got bus trips to Terre Haute, Jeffersonville, and Richmond, I really hope you guys get along. You guys might lead the state in miles traveled this year. Best of luck to you, fellas. Thanks for joining us today. Grant, best of luck on the maiden voyage as a head coach in Indiana high school football.
Thank you.
Those are the Kokomo Wildcats. We'll take this quick timeout. When we come back, as you are watching the 2026 Coca-Cola Kokomo Kickoff Special right here on ISC. Volley, oh my goodness. What a touch for the goal. Stepped over by Lawrence North, and they'll score on it.
Welcome back to the ISC from the ISC Sports Network. We are here in Kokomo at Sun King for the 2026 Coca-Cola of Kokomo Kickoff Show. To my left, we have head coach Blake Betzner of Carroll High School. Coach, how are you doing today?
Good. Thank you guys for having us. It's always a fun day.
Absolutely. And Coach, looking back at last year, 7-4 overall. Really, how has summer been? What are you guys looking forward to this upcoming season?
Yeah, last year, again, we had 5 seniors, so it was a little different year for us. We didn't have the depth. The good part about last year was we got to play a lot of young kids.
Yeah.
A lot of sophomores started for us last year, so they're now juniors. Senior leadership was phenomenal last year. With only having 5 of them, they still led us in a lot of ways. We were at a sectional final again last year. So, so last year, didn't end the way, and I guess, it only ends the way you want to for one team every year. So it's never ended the way we want to, since I've been here. But, we're just going to keep grinding. We're going to keep getting back to work, and we know what we need to do, and, our kids know what they need to do. And we've been through the program now. This is my 6th year. These guys were, elementary kids now that are seniors, so it's fun to see those develop and change. So this summer, again, we're a little different than most schools in the summer. We don't do hardly anything in June other than lift. We don't really want to bring a football out. Our goal is to be playing in deep November every year, so we hit it hard right after that week. We do team camp, and then we have some scrimmages, and then we give them this week off actually to get ready for the season. So we're a little different than most schools. We don't use all of our days, but we hope on August 3rd they're ready to play.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So really, you talked about summer, you talked about last season. Really, you talk about those younger players that got that experience last season. Looking forward to this season, how do you think that's going to play a key role in those younger players alongside that senior leadership?
Yeah, Coach Hendricks and I talked. He's going to do the defense this year, and this is the first year ever. All 11 guys have started, at some point last year.
Yeah.
So we bring 11 guys that will probably be our first group that have all started defensively, and we've never done that before, where we've had a whole group with experience. So I think that's the fun part, where you start putting stuff in. They know what we're doing. They know practice schedules. They know everything we've been doing. So just getting in, not only at the JV level, but those times in the varsity. And we've been blessed enough where we've been up some games that a lot of guys have get in on Friday nights.
Right.
So they've got a lot of experience. So we're really excited about not being nervous that first game. This year, going into our first couple games, we didn't know how kids were going to be, on a Friday night. So we have a pretty good idea how everybody's going to be this year.
Well, and you talk about that sectional final experience, being able to play deep into the postseason. How do you guys get past that next step, take that next step?
Well, I just think, I think that everything's got to fall in line. I think winning a football sectional is the hardest thing in sports. You got to play well for 3 straight weeks, and you got to have good matchups. I mean, football is a lot about matchups, and we were unlucky enough to have Pioneer in our sectional last 2 years, and they were really good a year ago. Had some and then obviously last year they went to the state championship. So it was a bad matchup. I felt like if we played them again this year, I'd again like chances, but our sectionals changed and. We're going west now more, so we got Frontier, Central Catholic, Clinton Prairie, some of those type schools that we haven't had in our sectional. So that'll be an interesting, change for us. More of a passing teams than run teams.
Yeah. So, Coach, tell me about a few of these players that you brought with you. That I'm going to be sitting with here in a couple minutes. Tell me about these guys and the rest of your senior class as well.
So we brought Avery Dyer. He's a junior all-state kid, lineman. He's a phenomenal young man, hard worker, number one in his class. He's a kid that'll do everything for you. He started for us as a sophomore. Again, we haven't had many of those guys that, before last year that got to play for us as a sophomore, and he was one of them. So he'll play offensive, defensive line for us. He'll be our leader in the trenches for sure. We have 2 other offensive linemen that'll be seniors this year, so we got a really senior-led offensive line. And then Brody Ray, also, he's a kid that also started for us as a sophomore. He's played corner and safety and wide receiver for us. Really good athlete, runs track. All of them do more than one sport. He might hold our record for high jump, so he's again a really good athlete. And then Landon Hammond, he was a starting middle linebacker last year, our wing. He's the guy coming back with the most rushing yards, so he's kind of our offensive guy coming back with the most experience. And he was honorable mention All-State in baseball. So we've got guys that are very successful in other things and other sports. So those are the 3 guys who are just great leaders. But we got about 11 seniors this year, and that's about normal, for us. We won over 10, but one year we had 20, but that doesn't happen very often. So that's about where we want to keep it, between 10 and 15. But yeah, great leaders, great group of kids. We came back from a scrimmage this past Thursday, and there's about 15 of them that just stayed in the locker room. We just talked for 20 minutes, and I think that's the fun thing about being a varsity football coach. It's not about football. It's just about seeing these young men develop and change, and what they're doing in our community. So I think these 3 guys will really show that Carroll County's in good shape because those 3 young men are going to do great things.
That's fantastic. And Coach, I'm going to ask this same question to the players when they come up here. What are some of the goals that you've laid out to your team? What was the messaging to your team before you kind of went into summer about this upcoming season?
The closer you get as a team, the more success you're going to have. So, I mean, you can have good athletes, good players, but if you don't gel as a team, it doesn't matter. So the quicker they gel and the quicker they forget about themselves, our saying has been every year, it's called family, forget about me, I love you. And it's just one of those things, our coaches, we preach it hard. Don't have an attitude. Don't have pride. Don't be prideful about, if somebody else can think of an idea or, all my coaches, hey, what do you think about that? I take all those ideas in. Same with players. Don't have pride. Go, if we ask you to go play somewhere, go play and go play the best you can. And that's what, again, these seniors have done. And they're going to do a really good job. So I could just see this team coming together, and that's really, really fast. And I think that's where we're going to have success this year. So, and they all work hard. So, and they've been in the weight room. When I first got here 5 years ago, we didn't really have a weight program, and now all of them are in the weight room for 4 or 5 years. So you can, really tell that aspect of it. So with strength and just working together, I think that's going to be our benefits this year.
That's fantastic. Well, Coach, best of luck this season. Coach Blake Betzner of Carroll High School, the Cougars of Carroll High School, and really just looking forward to a great season for this Carroll team moving forward in 2026. We will be back with more from Carroll High School when we come back here on the ISC Sports Network. It is the 2026 Coca-Cola of Kokomo Kickoff Special right here on the ISC Sports Network.
Metal volley, oh my goodness. What a touch for the goal. Kept over by Lawrence North, and they'll score on it.
Welcome back on the ISC Sports Network. I am Brant McCoskey. I am joined with 3 of the Carroll players from Carroll High School. Gentlemen, it is great to see you. Welcome to the show. This is the 2026 Coca-Cola Kickoff Show. Excited to have you guys. You know, Coach was up here. He preached very, very highly of all of you. So welcome. Excited to hear from all of you as well. So Coach really talked about family, right, going into this summer, and really what that means to him and what that really means to you guys, especially, you know, coming off of a sectional championship final, right? You guys unfortunately didn't get past that one, but you did make it to a sectional final. So really, I'm going to just kind of go around the horn here. Avery, I'm going to talk to you. This is Avery Dyer to my left. I've got Brody Ray immediately to my right. And then next to him, we've got Landon Hammond as well. So welcome, gentlemen. So Coach talks about family. What was last season like for you, Avery?
You know, we just, we focused a lot on trying to stay together as one, you know. We're always hanging out together, and if we ever have a problem, you know, trying to be there for each other. So we really implement that when we come into football, because we show up out there on the field and we just try to stay as one unit. And our goal is just to play together, because in my opinion, I mean, if you can't play together, then you can't play football as a team. So, I mean, for me last year, it was just, I think I was hoping we would have gone further, you know. Bummed out for the sectional loss there. But I feel like we kind of saw our weaknesses that we needed to fix this year as seniors, and we've already talked about this a few weeks ago. We talked about stuff that we need to fix this year that we really messed up on last year, and we noticed as one of our weaknesses coming into the season. So, yeah.
Okay, great. Let's see, Brody, last season, you guys get to a sectional championship game. Looking ahead to this season, knowing, you know, hey, we need to improve on this, what was one thing that you guys kind of took away from last year that, hey, we need to improve on this if we are going to win that sectional and move on to regionals?
The big thing is leadership, exactly what he was saying. We had a talk after one of our thuds, I think last week or the week before, and all of our leaders, we stayed in the parking lot after we talked for probably about an hour. And the big thing is what we said at the end of last year and what we've been preaching for so long, which we haven't really been following through, is leadership. Because we're a family, yeah, and we want everyone to be on good terms, but at the same time, if something happens, like, you need to take accountability for it.
Right.
If something happens, you need to get on someone, especially our leaders, as that was one thing, like you said, from last year that we didn't do amazing on, was our leadership. And that's something that we wanted to focus on this year, was being leaders, not just best friends, but almost like we have to get on kids if something happens, which was the big thing for us. So that's one thing that we're going to try and do better on this year, is being good leaders and being a good family.
Awesome. Landon, last season, sectional final, you end up heading home a lot earlier than you wanted to. Looking back on that moment, going into this summer, hey, we've got to improve on this if we want to take that next step.
Yep. So it was a hard loss, but I knew this year we could recoup and get way better, and we've all been putting in the work, working our butts off this offseason trying to get there, and we've just been on everybody, and it's been clicking recently how, like, our group has come together as, like, brothers. I don't think I've been closer to anybody, like, in any sport more than this group that we have right now. Like, we've played with these guys all throughout, like, being young, through middle school, everything. I just think that we're, like, really close together, and we can just really get this clicking and have a really good season this year coming up.
That's fantastic. So, Avery, looking ahead to this season, what are some personal goals for you?
I mean, obviously, you know, make it to the state championship game. That should be the goal for everybody.
Of course.
But, you know, I want to be, for me, a goal is just I want to go all state this year and all conference and academic all state as well. You know, I really want to focus on school and sports, you know, student athlete.
Excellent.
But yeah, that's probably my personal goals.
Awesome. Brody, same question.
That's a hard one. I mean, obviously the same things is I would love to win a sectional. It'd be the most realistic for us to win a sectional. Hopefully go far in regional. Obviously, we want to win a state championship like Avery was saying. But a good goal for me will just be the best player that I can become, be the best leader, encourage other teammates to do the best they can. And instead of, me, I'm trying to think about how to say this. I want to push, like I said, I want to push everyone to be the best they can, not just push me to be the best I can.
Right.
I want us to be as well-rounded as we possibly can be.
That's fantastic. And so, Landon, question for you, goals that you've set for this year for yourself.
For myself, one big goal I have is I just want to make sure that I leave the program better than how I first came, because this program's been brought up so well and just been so well managed and put together. I just want to make sure I continue to lead the people in the right direction so they can lead everybody else coming after us. And for the season, I would love to get another shot at Pioneer if we could.
Love that.
I would just love to get another shot at that. But I want to at least make a regional for sure, at least win a regional. That's something I would love, great aspiration I would love.
That's fantastic. So the Carroll Cougars, they are ready. They are ready to compete this season. They get their season started against Seeger on August 21st. Gentlemen, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show today. Best of luck in the 2026 season. And we will be right back here on the ISC Sports Network. This is the 2026 Coca-Cola of Kokomo Kickoff Show. I am Brant McCoskey. We will be back shortly.
My father's father had 2 brothers and a sister. His older sister, Hazel, had married a man named Jim Yunker, and he was involved in the bottling business early on, as early as 1906 in Indianapolis, and he sold flavors. He would have had grape, cream soda, blood orange, ginger ale. In 1915, he got the franchise for Coca-Cola in Indianapolis. So then we fast forward 20 years later to 1935, Jim Yunker approached my grandfather and his 2 brothers and said the franchises in Kokomo, Logansport, and Peru are available for sale, and you guys want this. Trust me, you want to get in the Coca-Cola business.
Welcome back on the ISC Sports Network. It is the 2026 Coca-Cola of Kokomo Kickoff Show. We are at Sun King in the Depot District in Kokomo. Well, Eastern. We are here joined by the Eastern Comets. Welcome, gentlemen. Excited to have you here on the show. To my left, Coach Tyler Harnish. To my right, we have Jackson Hilsinger and Richard Bickle. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. Gentlemen, hang on one second. I'm going to talk to Coach over here for a couple minutes. So, Coach, going back to last season, first of all, how has your summer been? And then we'll look back at last season. How's summer going?
Yeah, we've been having a good summer. Guys have been in the weight room getting strong, working out, getting in shape. Coach Edwards has really filled our summer with scrimmages with bigger schools. Just trying to get our guys ready to not only get to November, but win in November. So, we go to Purdue every year. The kids have access to, Big Ten coaching and drills and stuff like that. And as a defensive coordinator, you watch that and you're like, oh, I like that. We should take that home with us. But, we've scrimmaged the likes of Muncie Central, Huntington North, and some Fort Wayne schools, just trying to get all of the guys ready and prepared to go against, our competition this year.
That's fantastic. Looking back on last season, you get to the sectional final. Unfortunately, you head home earlier than you wanted to. Really, what did that experience do for this team when it comes to moving forward this season?
Yeah, we were really good last year, and we were in control of that game, and unfortunately it got away from us. But, you look into your players' eyes and throughout the summer, and you can just see, like, that didn't go away. Right. They remember. Mm-hmm. And I think it's led to a lot of hunger. It's led to even harder work. Being in control of that game and letting it get away, these guys, they remember that. And, one thing I've seen this summer, as you want to climb that mountain, you got to go from a coach-led team to a player-led team. Mm-hmm. And that's something I've really noticed with our senior class. Mm-hmm. Coaches coach, and if they see something, they kind of address it in a nice way and get everybody on board. And I think that's going to take us to where we want to go this year. I really do.
That's fantastic. So looking ahead to this season, obviously competition is still very, very strong on your schedule. What is one opponent that you're just like, that is a game that is a must win, or is it every single one of them a must win?
I'm going to be completely honest with you, Brant. I go into every game wanting to go 1-0, defensively especially.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And Coach Edwards is the same way. But if my goal is to not shut the opponent out, then I don't think I'm doing my job well enough.
Or especially as the defensive coordinator, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we want to win every game. That's just how it is. Last year we let Taylor get away from us, and it just drives me to work that much harder and get these guys ready to go.
Yeah, fantastic. So I'm going to ask the gentleman this same question. What are some of your goals for this team? What has been kind of the messaging for this team moving forward this season?
Win in November. Yeah. As a coach, your goal is always to win your last game. Now, maybe that's not a reality for everybody, know, but that should be your goal. Some teams can get there, some can't, but we want to win in November. We want to be playing on Thanksgiving, and we want to win. That's our goal.
Yeah. Looking ahead to this season, some highlights, this class, this leadership. What does the leadership mean for this specific roster?
I think leadership is everything on a football team. I made a list here of some guys. Gibson Eagle, he's our quarterback. Yeah, he's a great leader. Got Bentley Hollinger, he's a stud that we returned from last year. Broke the school record for receiving touchdowns. And then obviously Abe Edwards, coach's kid, been around football his entire life. When I was playing, he was just a little tiny kid. And then obviously these two guys that you have here. And then Isaiah Simpson, he's a force to be reckoned with on defense, and just having your seniors share your vision is huge for your football team. And I think we have that, so I'm excited.
Fantastic, Coach. Hang tight for a second. I'm going to jump over to these guys real quick. And so, gentlemen, it is fantastic to have you on. Jackson, I'm going to start with you. Looking back last season, sectional championship game, ultimately you end up going home a lot earlier than you want to. What has that done to motivate you going into this season?
I mean, it's made us practice twice as hard, trying to get back to play November, late November, and to not fall short again like we did last year.
Yeah, great. So, Richard, same question. Looking back at last year, you end up going home earlier than you want to. How has that motivated you going into summer camp, training, off season, looking forward to this season? How has that motivated you?
Kind of like what Coach Harnish said. Just letting the game get away from us. Just don't want to let that happen again. Pretty much.
Yeah, fantastic. So, gentlemen, you're going into this next season. Competition is going to be very, very strong. You know that. Coaches have told you that over and over again. Hey, we've got a strong schedule ahead of us. Really, where have you guys looked at yourselves? I'm going to start with you. Where have you personally had to improve to take that next step in your game?
Well, just like the little things, if it's stepping with the right foot first, and getting off the ball faster, and knowing what to do when even if coaches don't tell you, being more aware.
Fantastic. And so, Richard, what about you? Where have you personally wanted to improve, had to improve going into this season?
Mainly just like playing quicker, first steps and all that, recognizing stuff faster, playing with a little more intent, like hitting people harder, a little more violence, stuff like that.
Fantastic. So I have a fun one for you guys. When you're not on the football field, what do you enjoy doing?
Playing video games.
Video games? What about you?
Lifting, pretty much.
Lifting? See, that's...
Good answer,
There
Richard.
you go. I mean,
He
playing
played video games,
is
too.
good. Gentlemen, thank you so much. So, Coach, one last question. Motivation. You can definitely tell that these guys are ready to rock. These guys are ready to rock. You get started on August 21st, your first game. What is your message to the Eastern fans for this season?
Yeah, come out, show out, and be ready to watch the show because it's going to be a lot of fun watching this team this year on both sides of the football.
Excellent, excellent. Well, the Eastern Comets have been here with us now. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. We've loved having you on. Best of luck this season. Eastern is going to be a force to be reckoned with this upcoming season. Can't wait to see them as they take off in 2026. This is the Coca-Cola of Kokomo Kickoff show in the depot here in Kokomo. Sun King, love having the people of Sun King. Obviously, Coca-Cola, Brandon and Abby do a phenomenal job every single time. We will be right back here on the ISC Sports Network. I'm Brad McCoskey. We will be back shortly.
And metal volley, oh my goodness. What a touch for the goal. Kept over by Lawrence North, and they'll score on it.
Welcome back on the ISC Sports Network. We have our final team of the day joining us today. It is the 2026 Coca-Cola of Kokomo Kickoff Special here on the ISC Sports Network. I am Brant McCoskey, joined by the Taylor Titans. Taylor Titans, to my left, we have head coach Tim Weeks. To my right, we have Slater Farmer and Owen Collins. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me today.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Awesome, awesome. So, Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Like I talked to you earlier, getting ready to go on vacation here tonight, flying out to Charlotte to see my oldest daughter. So get a little quick AK in before we start next week. But things are going really well.
Fantastic. I love North Carolina.
Yes, it's
Charlotte's
an awesome city. Yes, yep.
And I've been out to the Outer Banks as well.
Yep, been there too.
Phenomenal area. So, Coach, it's your first season as head coach of the Taylor Titans. You've been with the program before.
I have, yes.
You're now back. What brought you back to Taylor?
Well, basically, that's kind of an interesting story. People that know my story. I was first head coach there in 2000, but right before, actually 3 days before the season started that year, my father tragically got killed in a car accident. And so at that time, it's just too many things going on. So I went away and then went to Kokomo and was assistant there for 20 years under Brett Colby. And then about 3 years ago, an opening for teaching occurred because I was kind of in that phase of my life where I was thinking about, am I ready to retire? What am I ready to do? And had some good friends at Taylor. And so they needed mid-year replacement. So I came in, took over a teaching position, and been there the last 3 years, and it's been a phenomenal experience. We have a great staff there, have a great principal in Mr. Brendan Gleason, and kids have been great. And so it's kind of funny. I don't know if people, spiritual people, but I kind of really believe that the Lord kind of leads you in certain steps. And so we kind of gave that opening for me again. So I'm back. And so I feel like I have some unfinished job to do from the first time. And so I got the opportunity, so I'm excited about it.
Well, Coach, welcome back. Now, going into this summer, what has been kind of that, okay, we saw what happened last season, we saw the record, we saw, players, leadership, all that kind of stuff. Seniors graduate, you've got a new senior class coming in, you've got new leaders. Going into this summer, what has been the message to your team?
Well, basically, it's been just about buying in and working hard. And these guys to my right, Slater Farmer and Owen Collins, along with Sincere Shelton and along with Royce Martin and along with obviously all of our seniors that we've had, have just done a tremendous job of leading and working hard. I mean, like I told these guys, I mean, if you came and saw us practice in the summertime, you'd be amazed by how hard they've worked. We might not be the most talented team in the state of Indiana. I'm not saying we don't have talent, but I'm just saying these kids work hard. There's nobody, I don't care if you're Ben Davis, whatever, we worked hard. And that's a credit to my strength and conditioning coach, Marcus Adams, who played for me at Kokomo, and he's also our running back coach, and he does a phenomenal job with that. But kids bought in, and I told them they kind of made a mistake because they showed me that they're willing to work hard, and I know they can work hard. And they've been really, we've got about, core group about 17 to 18 kids that have really, really worked hard, so I'm proud of them for that.
That's fantastic. Looking at, you talk about buy-in and how important buy-in is, especially with the leaders on this squad. Super, super important. You look ahead at your schedule, every game really, I've talked to a couple coaches now, every game is important. Every game you want to go 1-0. You want to just get every single W that you possibly can. Looking at what happened last year, looking at, this upcoming schedule, what is going to be your toughest task this upcoming season?
I think one of the things that we have to do right away is, just to establish our identity that we are a team full of people that can make plays. Obviously, if you watched us last year and the couple of years before that, Javion Harris, who was our first and only North-South All-Star from Taylor, phenomenal athlete, arguably the best player that Taylor's ever had.
Right.
I looked at it statistically last night. He accounted for 83% of our offense and about 81% of our total touchdowns last year. So you don't replace a player like that.
Yeah.
And he has some good pieces to go with him. Dre McClatchy was a good athlete, and they had some good people obviously going place with that. But this year is going to be more by committee. And we got some guys that obviously, they want to obviously show that, their time has come.
Yeah.
They're ready to do some stuff. And like I said, I think some people are going to be surprised by how diversified we will be as far as people that are going to have a lot of production this year.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, Coach, hang tight. Slater, I'm going to start with you. Slater Farmer sitting next to me right here. Slater, looking back at last season, going into this season, what was a must for you guys to improve to take that next step?
I mean, we don't have that. We don't have the athletes that we did last year. So commitment was a very big part. And the 4 or 5 guys that Coach just pointed out there have done pretty good by giving guys rides, doing all that other stuff. But like Coach said, I mean, we've got guys that bought in, and that's the biggest part. I mean, we've got guys that see how the returning guys are playing and how they're practicing, and us showing those guys how practice should go and how you should be committed to a team like that. That really has been a big part.
That's fantastic. And Owen, for you, really, you hear Coach talk about buy-in. Obviously, his first season as head coach with Taylor. What's it like been, at camp this summer with Coach, and then getting the buy-in and that, taking that next step going into this season?
Just trusting the process that coach is bringing in. We got to be willing to buy in, and I think everybody's willing to buy in. He's came, we've heard him out, and we're going to follow what he does, and he's our coach. He'll lead us, and we'll follow along with him.
That's fantastic. Now, Slater and Owen, what are some personal goals, team goals that you guys have set for not only yourselves but for the team as well?
Well, as of right now, I mean, we've had, 4 scrimmages? We've had about 4 scrimmages. We've had a lot of downs, but there's been a lot of good stuff that's happened in the scrimmage. Like I said, seeing the younger guys play, we only have a couple returning starters on the team, and these freshmen are really starting, freshmen, sophomores even, they're just starting to get going in the memo, and that's a big part. But
yeah, you guys are 2 years really removed from that first sectional championship. What's it going to take to get back there?
What we have going now, like Coach said, we're not going to be the best. We're not going to be the best team on the field at all times, but our team chemistry and the way we bond and have been bonding and will continue to be bonding will probably be separates us from other teams.
And you're absolutely right. And really, when it comes down to it, right, chemistry is massive. That cohesiveness on the field with everybody, that relationship that you have with one another is going to be massive. Coach, one last thing for you. We've talked about goals. We've talked about this schedule, the outlook for this season. Going into it, you look back on it, you get to November. What would be just a total win for this team?
I think one of the things that, and I want to mention one other kid that's done an outstanding job, and he would be here today, but he's on vacation in Gulf Shores right now, and that's Dylan Underwood. And I've asked him to change positions this year. He's going to be our quarterback.
Okay.
He's played tight end in the past, and he is an athlete. You look at him, you say, that kid's a football player. He goes about 6'1", he's probably about 190. He's also a semi-state wrestler. So he's done a tremendous job, along with the others I mentioned, especially Slater and Owen down there, of leading. So, he's been phenomenal. But, the thing that will be a success for us is just one of the things that I'm real emphasize a lot. And I know coaches say this, and it's really, a lot of guys, it's just coach speak. They say, well, we want to really form these guys into being men and, great pillars of their community. Well, I really buy into that. I really mean that. I mean, I hope that every one of these guys get D1 scholarships, but reality is probably not going to happen.
Right.
What I want them to be is I want them to be D1 husbands, D1 fathers, and D1 community leaders. And that's one of the things that football, and I don't say this to make people mad, but you understand what I'm saying. Yeah. I think football is the last great masculine teacher for men, because it's hard. It's physically hard, it's demanding, and you got to work with people.
Yeah.
And so you can learn a lot of life valuable lessons in football, and that's what I try to incorporate with these kids. So, if they can see that, in good times and the bad times, that the process is making them better football players, but more important is making them better people, that's a win. And, I'm a real big Nick Saban guy, like a lot of people are, but, he always talks about the process, and it's funny. I know he kind of latched in because I wouldn't mention it, so obviously they're hearing some of the stuff I'm saying. But one of the things that is really important is that in that process, they talk about it's not the whole big picture. It's every play, every second, do the best you can. And if you do it well, great. Come back and do it well again. If you don't do well that time, well, okay, forget it. Come back and do better the next time. Right. So it's step by step by step. So there's a lot of little wins in the whole process, and that's where we're trying to get to. Don't make a mistake. I think we will be very, very, very competitive. I think we'll surprise a lot of people. I think we got some people in place that we can do a lot of good things with. And so I'm excited for this season. One of the things we're also kind of going through right now, which I don't know if other schools talked about it, but a lot of schools, not a lot of schools, but there's more than normal. It seems like this year aren't fielding football teams because they don't have enough people. So I know there's 2 teams on our schedule that we might have to change because right now they're looking like they might not have enough teams. So we'll see. I hope that doesn't happen. Knock on wood, we get to play those guys, but we'll see. But again, really optimistic about these guys. Love what they've done for me this year. They bought in. They've worked hard. I'm proud of them. Tell them that every day. I love them, and they, for my first group that I've had coming back to Taylor, phenomenal. Couldn't be happier with them.
Love it. And one last fun question for both of you guys: when you're not on the football field, what do you like to do?
That could be a loaded question.
I mean, me, Owen, and some of the other guys, we like to golf a lot. So we do a lot of golf.
Oh, there you go.
Not much golfing on Owen's part because Owen's more looking for golf balls and all the other stuff. But
he's calling you out, Owen.
I like to hunt.
Okay.
I'm a big hunter.
That's awesome.
Into all that stuff, but yeah.
Owen?
I like to work.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
That's what I like to do. I'm not in football. I like to work, go home, hang out with my mom.
Fantastic.
Watch movies with her, TV shows.
Mom, if you're watching,
That's
there
right.
you go.
He loves his mama. There's no question
there you
about
go.
that.
Absolutely. Well, a very, very special thank you to the Taylor Titans for joining us today on the 2026 Coca-Cola of Kokomo Kickoff special right here on the ISC Sports Network. Coach, great to meet you.
Thank
Best
you for
of luck
coming
this
up
season.
here, and we appreciate you guys every year you do this. And obviously, this is a great thing. And with Greg Rakestraw, I think a lot of people realize, dude's in Indiana. He's pretty top notch when it comes to sportscaster. So we appreciate him. We appreciate you doing this for us today, and we appreciate all that ISC does for us. That's a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And Slater, Owen, best of luck to you gentlemen this season. Go out there, compete, give it your all on the field, and have fun doing it. For all of us at ISC Sports Network, this has been the Taylor Titans right here, and we will be right back on the ISC Sports Network.
Metal volley, oh my goodness. What a touch for the goal. Kept though by Lawrence North, and they'll score on it. Oh my goodness. Give it to him. Rolled through the lane, and he knocks him. Oh my goodness. Well, once again, thank you so much for joining us for another installment of our Coca-Cola of Kokomo kickoff special. Thanks to Brandon and Abby from Coca-Cola of Kokomo for all their support over the course of the years and their great work behind the scenes. Our tremendous ISC Sports Network crew, thank you to Vince, thank you to Charlie, thank you to Jordan. Thanks for Brant for handling a couple of the interviews and the teams here on the program today as well. Thanks to good folks at Sun King of Kokomo who got here early in the day to be able to put this show together. Most importantly, thanks to the coaches and players who are giving of their time to join us and help talk about their upcoming seasons. We wish all 11 of them the best of luck in the upcoming campaign. Thanks for joining us. And again, the high school football season is not far away. It starts August 21st, and you can watch it all season long at ISC Sports Network, iscsportsnetwork.com, and our television partners on My Indy TV 23. Thanks again for joining us. My name is Greg Rakestraw. Enjoy the rest of your summer, what's left of it. High school football is just around the corner. Thanks for watching the Coca-Cola of Kokomo kickoff special right here on ISC.